and welcome to another edition of Aural Apocalypse, a soundtrack for the final days on Real Industrial Radio. I am DJ Merrick, and I'm really excited about today's show because it is very special. In the studio, we have the one, the only Mr. Boyd Rice, joined by the lovely Miss Giddle Partridge. So we're going to share some groovy tunes, take a little bit of a turn for something different here than we normally share with you on the Aural Apocalypse. So open your mind, expand your consciousness, and enjoy the groovy vibes that we're going to present to you, because I'm going to turn over the turntables to them so they can play whatever they want. And we're going to go ahead and take a little retrospective right now with Boyd Rice and his works in the past. We're going to start it all off where it did indeed start all off, with Non on the Aural Apocalypse.
mighty was his power, that he was remembered by some as a god, by others the devil. It is said that the king has gone back to a sacred homeland, and that he remains there still, in near eternal sleep. One day he shall awaken from his slumber, take up his weapon once more, and return to reclaim his throne.
Day is night, and up is down. Fetch the rope. What goes around will come around. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. As twilight glints off fallen leaves. Fetch the rope. Strange fruit is hanging in the trees. Fetch the rope and carried on the summer breeze. Fetch the rope, the scent of vanquished enemies. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. Day is night, and up is down. Please fetch the rope. What goes around will come around. Go fetch the rope. Birth of joy, the death of hope. Fetch the rope. The birth of truth, the death of hope. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. As twilight glints off fallen leaves. Fetch the rope. Strange fruit is hanging neath the trees. Fetch the rope and carried on the summer breeze. Fetch the rope, the scent of vanquished enemies. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. Fetch the rope. Day is night, and up is down. Please fetch the rope. What goes around will come around. Go fetch the rope. The birth of joy, the death of hope. Fetch the rope. The birth of truth, the death of hope. Fetch the rope. Fetch the Fetch the
When the mists are rising and the rain is falling and the wind is blowing cold across the moor, I hear the voice of my darling, the girl I loved and lost a year ago. Well, it's hard to believe, I know, but I hear her singing the sign of the wind blowing in the treetop way above me.
Yes, I'll always remember till the day I die. I'll hear you cry. Johnny, remember me.
Well, someday I guess I'll find myself another little girl to take the place of my true love. But as long as I live, I know I'll hear her singing the sign of the wind blowing in the treetop way above me.
Yes, I'll always remember till the day I die. I'll hear you cry.
Oh, Johnny,
Remember me.
The seagulls are flying.
Yes, there's a storm in the sea. Yesterday, a storm was on the sea. Now it's come to dwell with you and me. Yesterday, the storm was far away. Now it's here to stay. Yesterday, dark clouds plagued the sky. Now they've arrived to plague you and I. Seagulls are flying. There's a storm on the sea. Now it's our fatal destiny. Yesterday, a storm was on the sea. Now it's come to dwell with you and me. But there's always calm at the center of the storm. Embrace the cold. Feel the warm. There's always calm at the center of the storm. Embrace the cold. Feel the warm. Seagulls are flying. There's a storm on the sea. Time to meet our fatal destiny. Yesterday, dark clouds plagued the sky. Now they've arrived to plague you and I. But there's always calm at the center of the storm. Embrace the cold. Feel the warm. Embrace the cold. Feel the warm.
You are tuned to the Aural Apocalypse, a soundtrack for the final days here on Real Industrial Radio. I am DJ Merrick, and I am honored to have in the studio today with me Boyd Rice and Giddle Partridge. For those of you who don't know anything about Boyd Rice, and who doesn't, I'm just going to read this little blurb for you that I got off his website. Boyd Rice is a pioneering noise musician and countercultural maven. From the late 70s to the present, Rice has worked in an array of capacities, playing the roles of musician, performer, artist, photographer, essayist, interviewer, editor, occult researcher, filmmaker, actor, orator, DJ, gallery curator, and tiki bar designer, among others. First coming to prominence as an avant-garde audio experimentist recording under the moniker Non, Rice was a seminal founder of the first wave of industrial music in the late 70s. Rice is also notorious for his public associations with nefarious figures both infamous and obscure, including friendships and ideological collusions with the likes of cult leader Charles Manson and Church of Satan founder Anton LaVey, among others. Wow, what an introduction. Welcome, Boyd. Welcome, Giddle.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yes, it's, like I said, an honor to have you here. You've been here now in LA for a little while, did a few crazy things around town, and we're happy to hear the tales of daring do here on the Aural Apocalypse. So what have you guys been up to?
Oh my goodness, it's just been nonstop. It's been a rock and roll rampage ever since Boyd landed last week. We had, there was a book signing for this new book called Vintage LA out on HarperCollins Publishing, that there's a 2-page thing of me where there's a photo and a little mini interview, and it has other people like Bob Mackey and the artist Mark Ryden and Rodney Bingenheimer, our best friend and favorite DJ. And so we went to that, and then Sunday we had a really groovy, successful record release or EP release party at Club Severance in Chinatown, which was nonstop. We signed records for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. The people came out in droves. I saw you had. You didn't even have like
We
a
got
spare
there
moment to
and
breathe there.
We didn't.
Yeah.
It took us, I think, what, 2 hours, Boyd?
3 hours.
3 hours just to finish like one glass of wine or one beer.
We barely had a spare second to breathe. I stepped off the plane in Burbank and went directly to the book signing. And then the next day, wake up and going to one thing and then another thing, then another thing. So, but it's been good. We've met a lot of really fun, nice people, and.
Yeah.
Speaking of meeting, how did you two actually meet?
That's classified.
Classified information.
No. I met Boyd when I was 15 through my older brother, Sean Partridge, who started the Partridge Family Temple. And ever since then, we've been really, really good friends. Like, I count Boyd on one hand of my best friends. And probably always will. I know I always will. What do I mean, probably? Of course.
Yeah, well, I met her brother because of the Partridge Family Temple. I wrote for a magazine called Colorado Music Magazine, which is one of these things where they print a zillion copies and they're free in every record store and that sort of thing. And I wrote for this magazine, and I kept seeing this car around town that had toys glued all over it and bubble gum all over it. And I'd say, what is that car? What's the story? And they said, oh, they're these nuts, and they think they have a religion based on the Partridge family. And I said, well
you got to find out about that.
So, yeah, I said, so I went to these people, and I said, somebody explained it to me, and I said, this sounds really good to me. These people don't sound like nuts. So I went up to Boulder, where they all lived at the time, and I interviewed them and did a cover story for Colorado Music Magazine, and we started hanging out together, became best friends, and I met Little Giddle.
Little Giddle, yeah.
After that.
The car that was driven was Dan Kapelowitz's car, covered in bubblegum and Partridge Family Temple stickers.
Well, that's
toys.
Who she is now engaged to.
Oh, well,
Yes.
congratulations. Yes,
Yeah.
I hear there's
Lots of
upcoming
people-
nuptials.
Lots of people always think that me and Boyd are an item. I get emails saying, you're the luckiest girl in the world. And all this, which I am very lucky to be groovy friends with Boyd.
Well, that was then. This is now. You guys have got a new EP out. Are there
Yes.
still any copies left? Even after all that record signing, you guys got pretty close to selling out, didn't you? But there are
Yes.
still some left.
Well, it's a limited edition EP called Going Steady with Peggy Moffitt, who was this really groovy model in the 60s for this fashion designer, Rudy Gernreich, or Rudy Gernrich, however you pronounce his name. And, yeah, the EP's selling really well. People are loving it across the world and internationally, and it's great. It's like happy pop, bubblegum, psychedelic music with like a little bit of glitter rock from the 70s in it and girl group music from the 60s.
Yeah, well, I really enjoy it. I cannot get that song Bonnie and Clyde out of my
Isn't that
head. It's a
great?
great song. Tell me a little
That's
bit about
by-
the original.
The original is by Serge Gainsbourg and Bridget Bardot, and they're just heroes, like two heroes of ours. And so we just did that cover, and it came out amazing, and it's been played on K-Rock, the world famous K-Rock by Rodney on the Rock, Rodney Bingenheimer, and
I saw, when I was a kid, Bridget Bardot made a special for French TV called Special Bardot, and they dubbed it into English and played it in the United States. And I remember looking at the TV guide, and there was like an article about it, and it had Bridget Bardot topless, kind of with her arms folded over her breast, and wearing these groovy kind of
bright orange pants and this white vinyl belt, and they were unbuttoned and hanging open. And I read this article and I said, this is going to be the best program that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I watched it, and it was the best program. It had a total psychic impact on me and changed my life. So it's like, you know, and I thought I would never see it again. Somebody we know, I think, sent me a copy of that, and I just flipped out after seeing it after 25 years. Now it's on DVD, so you can get it if you.
Oh, I'll have to definitely check that out.
It's beyond psychedelic. So sexy too. Brigitte.
And the Rudy Gernrich thing too is like, that's another person who just like had a total psychic imprint on me, because, you know, I remember being a kid and hearing news stories about women being arrested for wearing his topless bathing suit. And as a kid in elementary school...
How does that work, a topless bathing suit? Is it just strings or something?
Like, well, it's like it's bottoms, and then you pull it up, and it has 2 straps between your breast, and then it flares out onto your shoulders.
Oh.
And it was the world's first topless bathing suit. And he also designed the pubikini, which you would see your pubic fur or...
Not nowadays, because nobody has that anymore.
Or lack of. Yeah, exactly. But,
and he did the unisex look, where it was like men with shaved heads and shaved eyebrows, and the men and women dressed exactly alike, and the women had shaved eyebrows. And that was like way predating Ziggy Stardust and stuff. So it's like I grew up kind of into the Rudy Gernrich, Andy Warhol thing. And then when everything changed into the hippie movement, I was really disappointed. Like, why didn't the East Coast thing take off? You know, why aren't we all dressed in silver and black
60s.
Beetle boots and stuff?
The silver 60s will never die with us.
So we kind of wanted to reintroduce people to the fact that there were these groovy people like Peggy Moffat, the world's best super. I think she was one of the world's first supermodels. She was the first person where you could say her name. Everybody knew who she was. Nobody else looked like her. She predated Twiggy by years.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Well, it turned out to be a really great EP. I highly recommend that people go out and buy the last few copies that are available.
Yeah, you can get it at discriminativeaudio.com.
Okay, great. Well, now we're going to do something a little different on the Aural Apocalypse today. We're going to get into some groovy music. We're going to have a Groovalypse or something like that.
Psychedelic music.
Yeah, a little different for our listeners out there normally every week, but we're going to turn over the turntables, so to speak, to Boyd and Giddle, and we're going to go ahead and play some few songs right now. We'll come back and talk about some more stuff and talk about a little bit about what you heard, but it's time to get groovy, baby, here on the Aural Apocalypse.
Giddle, Partridge on Aural Apocalypse, and
your funky honky Boyd Rice here with DJ Merrick. Wild Wishes.
Dig it.
You've heard the story of Jesse James, of how he lived and died. If you're still in need of something to read, here's the story of Bonnie and Clyde. Here 'tis, Clyde had a petite amie. She's beautiful, her name is
Bonnie.
Together they had left the straight and narrow, the gang of two,
Bonnie Parker.
and Clyde Barrow.
Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde. I knew Clyde back when he was an honest guy. Even then, he was not afraid to die.
For you must realize this, that it was society that drove me into the abyss.
Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde.
That is not what they write of she and I.
They say we kill in cold blood, they lie.
It's not true, but sure it's in our nature.
To shoot first and ask questions later. Bonnie and Clyde.
Hi, this is Go-Go Giddle Partridge
And Boyd Rice.
And you're listening to Aural Apocalypse with DJ Merrick.
Wild Wishes.
Each time a policeman is maimed or killed,
Or a garage or a bank is robbed.
for the police it is not mysterious. It's the sign of Clyde.
And his mistress. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde.
Every time we try to settle down,
And have a home of our own in a quiet town.
within 3 days there's a tack, 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 tack.
Of the machine gun sneak attack. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde.
One of these days we will die. I don't care if they skin me alive. It's for Bonnie that I fear.
Me, Bonnie, I tremble for Clyde Barrow. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde.
We could not be left alive. The only solution was to die.
But more than one went with them when they died. Thus the legacy of Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde.
Hollywood a go-go, David Bowie, David Jones, the sweet Susie Quattro, funky road races, basing like the faces, Billy dolls and table stars, Rihanna, Suede, Oasis, Switchblade sister, Drama-Rama, Twister, aerial fenders, out on a bender, Cialis on the palace, Ryan Wilson on the lead, Phil Spector, where are you, Joey and Dee Metal Cooler, still blue, Lori Lightning's in the blue, Connie Pesky, Drop, Popcorn, Principal, Silver Heads, Thunder Eyes, Ultraviolet, Pink Eyes, I just wanna be like you. What's happening? So tell me what to do. It's all happening down, down, down. It's the middle of the Sunset Strip. On the rock, in the crowd, you pass the pencil test. Godhead, cross legs, smoking with the dress. Sonny Cher, fat hair, monkeys at the teenage fair. Ronnie T was Cisco Beats laid in my backseat. Flash, curse, Mr. Dead. He's called the Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. You gotta be sick to be the Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. There's no one quite as stupid as the Ku Klux Man. Tell me now. Running around the paper crossing his hands. Afraid one day a Negro's gonna stand where he stands. I'd like to see someone put a cross where he stands. Written above and written by hand. The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. Oh, that's where I like to see you, the Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man. We gotta get rid of the Ku Klux Man. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? He comes out and burns and he kills when he can. So sure of himself, 'cause there are others like him. But he hides from my face and he's no man at all.
What is his name?
He's called the Ku Klux Fool.
The Ku Klux Man.
Where you have a big listening, you can't say man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku
Oh
Klux
Lord,
Man.
now we gotta get rid of the Ku Klux Man. Tell me now. Listen to me. Listen to me. Are you listening? Are you listening?
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
We gotta get rid of the Ku Klux Man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
You gotta be sick to be the Ku Klux Man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
Well, it's no one quite as stupid as the Ku Klux Man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
Well, we gotta get rid of the Ku Klux Man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
He fucks and burns and he kills when he can.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
Well, you gotta be sick to be the Ku Klux Man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
Hey, listen to me, listen, Mr. Ku Klux Man.
The Ku Klux Man. The Ku Klux Man.
Do you feel a little guilty?
Why do people send me large and extra large t-shirts? What happened to medium and small t-shirts? Why do girls have spikes on their tongue? Marsha Brady never had one. She's Godhead. I hate the 90s. What happened to tube tops? No girl I know can pass the pencil test. Tattoos, body piercing, the whole world has lost its head. Lost its head. Tattoo removal is the new wave. Let's open up tattoo removal parlors across the land. I hate the 90s. Brian Wilson speaks for Dennis. Tattoos and body piercing is the new menace. S&M doesn't stand for Sonic Youth are the Monkeys. All the cute girls in the 90s are all junkies. I hate the 90s. I hate the 90s. The only good thing was the fall of the Berlin Wall and Star 69. Why the internet? There's a great new invention called the telephone. Hello? Join Rodney's army. I can't do it alone. Spread my message all over the phone. I hate the 90s. Everyone's clueless about the 90s. You go into clubs, you can't stand here, you can't stand there, let alone being body searched. I don't want no man to touch my body. I hate the 90s. Stars of news getting more than 15 minutes of fame. Sally, Jesse, Geraldo, and Donahue rule the hard copy of television. They make young girls cry. They do. I hate the 90s. I'd rather look at Kate Moss's mole than a piercing with a hole. We owe all this to Ortella. He started butchering hair back in the 80s. I hate perms. Marsha Clark then, Marsha Clark now. Case closed. I hate the 90s. I hate the 90s. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate the 90s. You know, it really sucks. It really does. I hate the 90s. Man, man. I hate the 90s. Get me to the year 2000 at once. I hate the 90s.
And yes, you are tuned to the Aural Apocalypse. It's a little different today here on Real Industrial Radio. I'm DJ Merrick, and we heard some really groovy tunes courtesy of Boyd Rice and Giddle Partridge, who are joining me in the studio today. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what we just heard. We heard from Children of the Morning with a song entitled Ku Klux Man, and Rodney Bingenheimer and the Two Tops did I Hate the 90s. Marizane with the Sunset Strip, and we heard a couple songs off your new EP, Going Steady with Peggy Moffat, the title track, and Bonnie and Clyde. I love that song. That's a great song.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the music that we just heard. Tell me a little bit about the Children of the Morning. There's an interesting story behind this, Boyd, isn't there?
Years ago, I DJ'd at a club that was like a half a block from Giddle's house. And one of the guys I DJ'd with was Howie Pyro, who used to be in Danzig.
And Degeneration.
And we just found out like 3 days ago he was in the room when Sid Vicious died.
Oh, no way.
That was
wow.
I had no idea that ever happened.
Imagine like knowing a guy for years and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I was in the room
I
when
was
Sid
there when he
Vicious
died with his mother.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that wild?
What a claim to fame. Not claim to fame, but you know what I mean.
It
I mean,
could be a claim to fame, but he doesn't use it as that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's never said anything about it.
Normally most people, if they had something like that exciting happen in their life or interesting or monumental,
yeah.
they would say, I'm the person who did this, or, I was there when this happened. But
wow,
he's
that's
never
wild.
mentioned that.
But I was DJing with him, and I brought a bunch of eclectic stuff, and he saw me playing all this glam rock stuff, and he brought a bunch of glam rock stuff, and he's really eclectic. And he said, hey, Boyd, have you ever heard this weird glam band called the Children of the Morning? And he showed me the picture sleeve, and it was a picture of a burning cross. And I said, what the hell? And he said, the song is called Ku Klux Man. And he put it on, and sure enough, it was a glam rock song about the Ku Klux Klan.
I honestly can say I don't think I've ever heard, any subject like that tackled by a glam band.
Well, there's a guy in the suite who dressed up in an SS uniform and painted on a mustache for their song, the music video of their song Blockbuster. So there were actually it's like the New York Dolls wore armbands.
Yeah.
The Stooges did. It was kind of like
a little bit of shock value and a little bit of
shock value,
rock and roll, baby. So we also heard from a friend of yours, Giddle, Rodney Bingenheimer and the Tube Tops.
Yeah, me and Boyd. Rodney's a great dear friend. He was the first person to ever give us airplay, just like he was the first person to ever give almost any band you can think of airplay.
He was the first person to play non on the radio.
Really, the very first?
Non.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, first person to play Blondie, the Ramones, Sex Pistols, as we were just speaking of Sid. You name any band out there, and he pretty much has been the first person to play it. And that band that he was in was called the Tube Tops, and so it was Rodney Bingenheimer and the Tube Tops. And the Tube Tops are Cameron Jamie and Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth, and my friend Eric Erlandson from Hole.
All-star lineup.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the odd thing about I Hate the 90s is, of course, when I heard it, I identified with everything about it. And I actually did that live a couple times. I think the first time I did it live was at the show you arranged with Death in June in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah?
And it's like Rodney had just given me the soundtrack, and I was over at Doug's room saying, Doug, can I use your CD player? I want to write down all the lyrics to this. I want to do this tonight. And I did it, and I think I added a few of my own things.
I was
what
wondering why that might have sounded just a little bit of... Well, it all comes together. How exciting. And so what is it that you specifically... I remember some of the stuff that you said, but what do you hate about the 90s, Boyd?
You don't have enough time. You don't have enough time.
It's only a 2-hour show.
It's like the whole computer thing. Like he says... Wow, computers, instant communication. Hey, ever hear about the telephone?
Yeah.
I was saying that to people for 10 years, and it's like, yeah, we've got instant communication. Guy named Alex Bell, remember him? Ring a bell? So, yeah, I identified with all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's really great how you actually do live up to your, how you eschew technology. It's like really hard to get a hold of you, and you don't do this whole internet thing. And I was talking to you the other day, and you said, Merrick, I don't know what an MP3 is. I thought that was just brilliant.
That's what I love about, that's one of the things I love about Boyd, is that he's such a purist in the fact of, like, what he likes, he loves, and he's diehard. And what he dislikes and hates, he's diehard about it as well. But, yeah, he's very anti-internet.
But I am easy to get a hold. I mean, you call that phone number you have, I'll pick up on the first ring. If I'm there, I'll pick up on the first ring.
That is true. If somebody has your phone number, the thing is, like, most people can just email anybody that they want. There's contact information out there. Just do a quick Google search, and you're in contact with anybody.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
Because, hey, guess what? I'll tell you a secret. There are a lot of nuts out there. You might not want everybody to get in touch with you right away.
And I'll bet you've met quite a few of them in your day, Boyd.
No. Everybody I interact with is ultimately reasonable and rational. Are you kidding?
Yeah, but people can reach Boyd through our MySpace page, Giddle and Boyd. I think it's actually Rice and Partridge. Advice
should change that to Giddle and Boyd, for Christ's sake. Rice and Partridge, man?
Yeah, I know, Rice and Partridge. It was kind of like Boyce and Hart.
Rice and Partridge. It sounds like a dish.
Yeah.
What are you having tonight, honey? We're having rice and partridge.
Ooh.
It's going to be delightful. That's an amazing thing.
That's if we ever give a banquet.
Yeah.
What's on the menu,
CD,
darling?
Yeah,
rice and partridge. That's
excellent.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary.
Hey, have you seen these posters around town? They want to get rid of the quail as the state bird.
Really?
Partridge. Get some signatures going. Partridge is a
so
state bird.
is a state bird, it's open now? It's like open election for the state bird?
No, they want to just get people to vote to get rid of the quail. I have no idea why.
Well, that sounds silly. Whatever. So we also heard a band in there called Marazane with a song called Sunset Strip. What about them?
Marazane actually has Roland Bolin, Mark Bolin from T-Rex's son, playing guitar in that. And that song's about our friend Rodney Bingenheimer. It's called The Mayor of the Sunset Strip, who Rodney is. And if you've seen his documentary titled Mayor of the Sunset Strip. But it's just a groovy song about everything that was happening in the 60s and the 70s. And it just pretty much names everything.
Well, that was a really fun set. A little different, like I said, than you normally hear here on the Aural Apocalypse. It's not so dark and gloomy. It's groovy.
Yes, it's happy and groovy.
We've turned the turntables over to Boyd and Giddle, and we're going to play some more music in just a second. Just want to talk a little bit more about your stuff, Giddle. I mean, I love this. I saw this. I did this like little search on you, and I see that you were in a movie in the film called The Year of the Dog in 2007, and you're credited as the blonde floozy.
Yeah,
I love
that. When I was a little girl growing up, like my hero was Jane Mansfield, and I just loved all the blonde bombshells. And so, they'd always be playing like blonde floozies or tramps. And so my first big movie role on Paramount Pictures was me playing the blonde floozy in my friend Mike White's film Year of the Dog, that has Molly Shannon in it and John C. Reilly and Peter Sarsgaard. And it was produced by Brad Pitt and Jack Black.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't read
Yeah,
that part.
no, it was,
okay.
It was a huge film, and yeah, I play the blonde floozy. I have an affair with this other actress,
As
Regina
floozies
King's
are wont to do.
fiancé, and Molly Shannon catches us and blackmails him at the end. You got to rent it and see it.
Oh, definitely. I have to
Dan's
check that out.
Dan's in there too.
Yes, Dan
Kapelovitz.
Kapelovitz is
I
in it.
understand he steals the show.
Really?
He plays a bag boy, and it's a very funny moment in the film.
I'm definitely going to rent it this weekend and check it out. You also got some stuff.
I
you
have
actually
other films. I
designed.
played Dinah Cancer actually in
Oh,
the
you
Germs
did?
movie. What We Do Is Secret.
Now that I did not know. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's not out yet.
It's not out.
Oh,
yet.
well, that's why I don't know. Okay, I'll have to keep my eyes open for that.
Yeah,
What's the name of the
I
film?
was in Vox Pop, which was what Don Bowles had. Don Bowles from the Germs, he named Dinah Cancer. Her name was Mary Sims.
Uh-huh.
He named her Dinah Cancer, and he had this band called Vox Pop during the Germs, and she played tambourine and just sang. So in the film, you see me in Vox Pop as Dinah Cancer playing the tambourine and singing. So
Oh.
Mary never looked like Giddle, though. It's like, I mean, when the first time I saw Mary, she was like 14 years old. And do you ever see these Barbies in a thrift store where a little girl gives them a haircut and they have this like screwed up
choppy.
and then they put their own makeup on them and they look really. That's what Mary Sims looked like the first time I ever saw her.
Oh, the little girl
Before
Barbie
she was
makeover, huh?
Dinah Cancer.
Speaking of Barbies, you have you say you have a few Barbies. You have an extensive-ish collection or not? Or
I've
or
got
that
a couple Barbies.
Couple
I've got a
Barbies.
ponytail Barbie. I've got, but I've got a bunch of memorabilia. I've got Barbie's poodle. I've got Barbie records. I've got doll cases. Because when I was a kid, my cousins were all females.
Ah.
And when I went over to their house, there was nothing we could do but play dress up with the dolls. And I always, at that age, it's like that. I thought, well, this is what women are going to look like when I'm an older, when I grow up and I'm a heterosexual male. I'll have these girls with flip hairdos and bubble cuts,
perfect
and all
bodies,
this.
and
and
no
I grew
nipples
up into
and
a
no
world.
vagina.
Well, that would be no fun now. I don't know. That's just personal.
I don't know. The no vagina thing at this point in my life, that I could get along with the no vagina thing.
Oh, really, Boyd?
Boyd's a
being
ladies'
cynical.
man.
Cynical, yeah. I understand the feeling at all. So,
Yeah, no, I collect a lot of 60s toys. I have a huge collection of little Kiddles, these little like 1.5-inch dolls that are groovy from the 60s from Mattel. And Boyd actually gave me a bunch of them to start off my collection. And my name Giddle actually has nothing to do with little Kiddle dolls. It has to do with my mother nicknaming me Little Giddle as a little girl.
Oh,
So it was wild to find these little dolls that look super psychedelic.
They
and
look like
dress
her.
Like me.
Oh, really?
They look like her because they've got these large heads and big eyes and
Well, how fortuitous.
cute hairdos. But there is a Giddle named Giddle.
I don't
Giddle
have
doesn't
it.
believe me, but
Don't have it. I've never seen it.
Like, try eBay. eBay, you can find anything
I've
and
tried eBay.
anything.
I found Greta Griddle.
Griddle. That's not quite
but
it.
I've never found
What does she serve?
anything
Pancakes or
Giddle.
something?
I know there's Baby Biddle. There's everything. There has to be. I know there is a Giddle.
All rhyming with iddle. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there has to be a Giddle out there.
Well, we'll keep the search out, see if there are any fans out there who'll find it for you. So.
Yeah.
There you
Hopefully,
go.
please.
There you go. Everybody help
Ask and you
Giddle
shall
find her
receive.
perfect
Really
little
grateful.
doll. So, also, you also designed some clothes and lampshades and pillows, which people can find at your website.
GoGoGiddle.com.
GoGoGiddle.com.
Yeah, I make Victorian custom-made lampshades that I call Victorian Libertine, and they look like showgirls and like with corsets, and they have rhinestones and corsetry in them and Swarovski crystals, and I hand dye the fringe and the fabrics and use old Victorian lace, and they're just amazing. They're like taking a Victorian lampshade that is like red and beige, which is like the typical boring colors, and just making them technicolor. And like David Bowie and Cher have expressed interest in my lampshades, and I've sold a bunch of them. And
Do they still sell them in the Hustler store on Sunset Boulevard?
I sold out at the Hustler store on Sunset Boulevard,
Oh.
but I sell pillows there. I sell pillows, and I call them PILL-OS.
Pillows.
Pillows, like
well,
pills.
Anybody wants to check that out, go to gogogiddlepartridge.com. Now we're going to work back into getting into another set of music. Again, I'm going to turn over the turntables, so to speak, to you guys. Now, you guys had a recent event.
On Thursday, Boyd DJ'd at this Don't Knock the Rock Film Festival that Allison Anders puts on, and it was a documentary about the Wrecking Crew. And the Wrecking Crew are a number of musicians that played on all the big hits that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Like they did "Help Me Rhonda" by the Beach Boys. They did "Sugar Sugar" by the Archies.
"Be My Baby" by Phil Spector.
"Be My Baby"
Ronnie
by Phil Spector. Like all kinds of Phil Spector greats, and the Monkees, the Partridge Family, Nancy Sinatra, the Carpenters, Annette Funicello. I mean, you name it.
This goes on and
they
on.
did it.
Yeah.
They did it.
Uh-huh.
So they're very familiar to you, but we're going to play a few tracks. The first one we're starting is Nancy Sinatra, and it's called Lightning's Girl.
All right, Nancy Sinatra, Lightning's Girl on Aural Apocalypse, the soundtrack for the final days on Real Industrial Radio.
I've told you that I'm Lightning's girl, but you keep hanging around. If lightning never catches you, he's got to put you down. About 6 feet. Stay away from Lightning's girl and this part of town. Stay away from Lightning's girl or he'll put you down. Better stop your grooving round. Another roaster's hen. If lightning ever catches you, he's got to do you in about 2 minutes. Stay away from Lightning's girl and this part of town. Stay away from Lightning's girl or he'll put you down. Comes lightning down the street while you stand there just talking. If I were you, I'd start to move and tell my story of walking about 100 miles an hour. Stay away from Lightning's girl and this part of town. Stay away from Lightning's girl or he'll put you down. Stay away from Lightning's girl. Stay away from Lightning's girl. Stay away from Lightning's girl. Stay away from Lightning's girl.
Don't you know every time I see you smiling,
It's so bad, 'cause when I see you I start crying.
everything to stop, but there's no denying.
In love with you, girl, is just like dying.
Small enough to hide till your plan was through. Girl, don't you know we could work it out with talking?
Turn around or slow down your walk.
I've given you everything with a kiss to seal
You had to
it.
get your kicks out of trying to steal it.
Young woman, share your fire with me. My heart is cold, my soul is free. I am a stranger in your land, a wandering man, call me sand.
Oh, sir, my fire is very small. It will not warm thy heart at all. But thee may take me by the hand, hold me and I'll call thee sand.
Young woman, share your fire with me. My heart is cold, my soul is free. I am a stranger in your land, a wandering man, call me sand.
At night when stars light up the sky, oh sir, I dream my fire is high. Oh, taste these lips, sir, if you can. Wandering man, I'll call thee sand.
whispered sand. Young woman shared her fire with me, now warms herself with memory. I was a stranger in her land, a wandering man, she called me sand.
He was a stranger in my land, a wandering man.
She called me sand.
I didn't ever care or worry. I wasn't in the slightest hurry to fall in love and give my heart away. Oh, baby, so hurt many times before that I said this time for sure I was locking up the door. Then a baby, ooh, you came, you saw, you conquered all the love in me. You came, you saw, you turned your loving light on in me. Oh, 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 oh. My enemy was warm desire. You shot me down with lips of fire. I ran for cover straight into your arms. Oh, baby, but loose, a fancy freak. Nobody could get a hold of me. But then you kissed me tenderly, and baby, ooh, you came, you saw, you conquered all the love in me. Oh, baby, ooh, you came, you saw, you turned your loving light on in me. Oh, 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 oh. Goodbye, heart of mine. Hello, sweet ties of love that bind. I'll try love just one more time. 'Cause, baby, ooh, you came, you saw, you conquered all the love in me. Oh, baby, ooh, you came, you saw, you turned your loving light on in me. Oh, 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 oh.
And you are turned to an all-new Aural Apocalypse. It's not all the gloom and doom that we normally present to you, but today's a little different show. I got some groovy tunes for you that we've been sharing with you. I've got Boyd Rice and Go Giddle Partridge with me here in the studio today. Thanks, guys, for joining us and sharing some fun tunes.
Of course. Psychedelic music is the best.
All right, we heard from the Ronettes. You came, you saw, you conquered.
That basically sums it up, right? You conquered.
Awesome. Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra with a song called Sand.
That's an amazing tune.
I really enjoyed that.
Love Nancy and Lee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, one of my favorite Monkees song, you guys selected it. I just love it. It is my favorite Monkees song. Words. It's completely psychedelic.
Those guys did all the Monkees songs, and it was hard. You know, it's like we wanted to pick a couple of them that.
The Wrecking Crew.
The Wrecking Crew people did all those Monkey songs.
Uh-huh,
And Boyce and Hart wrote a lot of them. But the Words one, I love Words, and I love The Girl I Knew Somewhere. We also played that night. And it's like the other ones you've heard, like, you know, time and time and time again. So,
yeah. They had some amazing stuff. It's surprising that, you know, obviously the really fun ones are ones that most people remember, but they had some really dark psychedelic.
Yeah, they did. And you know what's also cool is we were playing earlier is Rodney Bingenheimer, and he was actually Davy Jones' stand-in.
Oh,
the
really?
Monkees.
Oh.
They were the same height and everything. It was wild.
Huh. We also heard from Cher, Dream Baby. Now, I didn't even recognize
Baby.
That's
That was her first single.
Her very first single.
And it's actually it's on this amazing box set called the Girl Groups box set. I believe it's on vinyl. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't have
it's so
anything.
complex.
But,
I don't know.
Girl Group Sounds, Lost and Found. You guys should. We highly recommend getting this. This is me and Boyd's.
A million classics on that. It
Yeah.
comes in
Yeah.
a thing that looks like a hat box. And
And
look at
each
these.
one of the CD covers looks like a little.
Oh wow!
Looks
And
like
you
a
can check your
compact.
lipstick. You can
with a
check your
powder
lipstick.
puff. And it
So
has
it's
a little
very
mirror.
fetishistic.
But the mirror is very vague and blurry, so it looks like when you're really drunk.
Oh, perfect. So when you listen to this music, you can just think of the most beautiful thing ever through your...
We encourage you to have a cocktail right now as we are.
Definitely. We also heard from Davy Allen and the Arrows with Devil's Angels.
They did the music to a lot of those AIP biker films, a lot of the
yeah?
Roger Corman biker films, like, Wild Angels and all that stuff. I used to always play Davy Allen and the Arrows when I DJ'd at the Lions Lair in Denver. And people would come in and they'd say, "Have you played Blues Theme yet from the Wild Angels?"
And Nancy Sinatra was at the top of that set with Lightning Girl.
That is amazing. It's just like, it's kind of like Leader of the Pack, but it's more violent without the tragedy. It's like, it's like, we're going to put you down 6 feet under. Stay away from Lightning's Girl.
Yeah, it was a badass song, I have to say, for sure. So
I've got a great ad. When that came out in Billboard magazine, they had a full-page ad of Nancy Sinatra wearing the skin-tight black pants catsuit with the giant lightning bolt on front of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sex kitten.
All right. Now, we've been going, obviously, back in time and exploring some of the classic oldies. Are you guys listening to anything new lately that you guys are really grooving to?
Like new as in just discovered, or new as in fresh from
It was like
releases?
I just saw Louis the 14th a few months ago.
Yeah, Louis
in
the 14th.
Denver.
They're this great band that Rodney turned us on to as well. I personally, I love pop culture. Being in the Partridge Family Temple, we worship Partridge. We worship television and the Partridge Family music and pop culture. And, I personally love Britney Spears' new album.
Oh, really?
I totally dig it. So, a lot of people
Confessions of
wouldn't understand that.
Go-Go Giddle Partridge here on
I'm
Aural
not
Apocalypse.
ashamed to admit it. I'm not ashamed.
That's it. You go, girl. Now, pop music. Now, Unpop. What is Unpop? Tell us a little bit about that. You want to
Unpop
talk
is
about
an
that?
art movement that was... My brother always called himself the king of Unpop. And kind of like how Michael Jackson called himself the king of pop. That's where it came from.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was a king of Unpop. And then my brother Sean Partridge and Boyd and Brian Clark all started the Unpop art movement, which has some groovy artists like Jim Goad on there and Larry Wessel and my brother and Boyd and Brian. And I have one piece of art on the website as well. It's unpopart.org, I believe. And it's just like, my brother paints paintings of Anne Frank, and he calls them Anne Frankenstein. He distorts her face where she has 3 eyes, and it's really psychedelic, like Warhol popism. It's great. And he does stuff like Ian Brady, that famous serial killer.
Well, unpop.org, you can go check that out. And Boyd, you have a new book out called Standing in Two Circles, which contains your works, essays, lyrics, art and photography, and lots of illustrations.
Yeah, that's not true.
No?
It'll be out in October or something. They sold out. There was a limited edition that sold out in 48 hours.
Hardback, right?
Yeah, the hardback.
Oh, excellent, though.
And this trade paperback was supposed to be out in January, but for some reason they decided it might be really prudent marketing-wise to just delay the publication of this for 8 or 9 months.
Create the anticipation. And
so, yeah, for some reason it's coming out. Everybody who bought it liked it. It's fun. It's fun because there's serious stuff in there and there's silly stuff. And
sadly, I haven't gotten to read it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And you can go to boydrice.com to check out any more information about your newest projects and your past, interviews and such, and as well as find out more information about the book. And I know there's a MySpace website too, which you can find.
Standing in Two Circles.
Yeah, so
that's correct.
That's groovy. Now, we were also talking before about pranks and stuff like that. You're quite the prankster, Boyd. And I remember when you were in San Francisco after dinner, we were walking along and you started to just doorbell ditch. And I remember the guy, and he threatened us with a gun. He said, "I got a gun, you guys. I'm going to get you." Has there ever been a prank that you've performed that you like regretted or that turned dangerous?
Regretted? No.
Boyd's
No.
not a man of regret.
Doesn't live a life of regret, and that's a good thing.
No, I mean, some really intense things have happened, like maybe with the First Lady.
Oh yeah, that wasn't really a prank. I just tried to, give Betty
Just a
Ford the
surprise.
sheep's head, and I got arrested by the CIA.
Yeah, I heard about
or the
that.
Secret
That's just
Service.
crazy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
wasn't even a prank because it's not funny. There's no intelligence. There's no gamesmanship involved. I always try to remember. There's one. Oh, okay. I know one I can tell you. And this one almost turned dangerous. Somebody could have got killed.
Oh boy.
But a friend of mine, his girlfriend had gotten the keys to this guy's apartment.
I know this is leading.
So we thought, and we like this guy. This guy's a friend of ours. He's a lovable character. But we said, let's go in and do something. Let's screw up his apartment somehow. Let's leave something. But I wanted it because we liked the guy. I tried to think, what's the most innocuous thing I could think of? And I'm getting something out of my refrigerator, and I see a bottle of Miss Butterworth's pancake syrup.
Yeah.
Where the bottle looks like the old lady. And so we break into his house, and we go there, and we open his refrigerator, and this guy's got enough food for the apocalypse. If there was a nuclear holocaust tomorrow, he'd be eating pretty for months. So there's hardly any room to get this thing in. But we left it there, and he came home, and he found it like a couple minutes after he walked in the door. And it freaked him out, and he began carrying a 9mm with him wherever he went.
You guys never told him or never let him?
I finally told him after like 2 years. I finally said, "Hey, you remember?" But I mean, he was really freaked out. He was like, he would go home and he would unlock his door and kick the door open and go from room to room with his gun, clearing each room to make sure somebody wasn't waiting for him.
All over a bottle of Miss Butterworth.
But what was the syrup he preferred? He was like, "I'm not a Miss Butterworth."
He preferred Log Cabin. He actually wrote this up on the internet, and he said, "I know it's not my syrup. It wasn't there in the morning. Besides, I'm a Log Cabin man." So this is a thing where I felt like, if somebody if he's opening his door and somebody looked at it in the wrong way, they might have gotten blown away or something.
Bam!
Not a pretty sight, and there was syrup and blood everywhere. So, also, you've been a man of many, many roles. It's just crazy how many roles.
Yeah. You see, I don't like that in the text. Boyd has played the role of musician, photographer. It's like, I'm not playing a role. I kind of put out records. I had one-man shows of my photographs.
But you are truly just yourself, and that's
multi-talented.
Yeah, one of the most admirable things
putting
about
on
you.
different hats. Where's my hat at? Oh, it's in the kitchen. Never mind.
Well, what hat would you like to put on that you have not as of yet?
I would actually really like to be an architect. I've always been really interested in architecture, and architecture is like this kind of public art that you live with, and it speaks to your soul. It's like, because a lot of things, creative things people do, you don't really get to live with them. You get to live with music, which I think is great because it changes the atmosphere in the house, and it can become part of your life. But a lot of stuff, it's like art seems so ephemeral. A movie, when it's not on, it's gone.
Right, or something that falls out of fashion later on. It's like dated or something like that. But
I never believe in that. When people say bangs are out, I always have bangs. I never fall for that stuff.
Right.
Well, what's that? Peggy Moffat said something really good. She said, like, she's associated. She's that supermodel we were talking about.
Right.
And she says, "I hate fashion. I love style." She says, "Style. If you've got good style, it is always current.
Always in
fashion stuff. It might look,
seasonal,
anachronistic tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
And why dress like the masses?"
And she's got a purse. She said she got this little red purse, vinyl purse,
little
for
clutch
$10. And it's still, she says she wears it with outfits that cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and nobody knows this is a little $10 purse because it's a good $10 purse.
It's a good accessory.
She's my kind of gal then, because I agree 100% then. So we're going to get back into some music. We want to share one more song off of your brand new EP, your vinyl heart-shaped EP. It's still available, and not too many
And
more
it's
available.
pink.
It's pink,
Like
pink
bubble
and
gum.
heart-shaped, and it's really fun. It's like some of the stuff that we've been sharing earlier, some of this bubblegum pop music here, and we're going to share a song that actually hasn't been heard anywhere on radio, right? The song
Not
called
yet.
Contact. Thank you so much for letting us do the world premiere here on Aural Apocalypse. So we're going to play the song Contact by...
And the wild thing is, it's like I've always loved this song forever. I called up my friend in Switzerland and I said, I know the lyrics have to be good, but please translate them for me. And he sent the lyrics back, and they were a million times wilder than I could, because
Take
it's
my
all about
spacesuit off and strip me bare.
it's all about alchemy. It's all about alchemy, and I need a transfusion
Fusion
of
of
mercury.
mercury, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, let's give it a listen here on the Aural Apocalypse.
Let's do it.
A meteor broke my heart. Ever since then, I've been torn apart.
Hi, this is Boyd Rice.
And go Giddle Partridge, and you're listening to DJ Merrick and Aural Apocalypse.
I need a transfusion of mercury to reunite with my destiny. Take my spacesuit off and strip me bare. Find the missing pieces and I'll be there. Contact. Beneath the sun, the moon and the galaxy, there is only one true love for me. face these lonely halls alone. And when you leave, who's gonna walk me home? But when you walk out the door, I won't see you no more. And you're the one I adore, so baby, don't drop out of my life. Baby, don't be a fool. You're old enough to know you're too young to face a world so cruel. You're not prepared to do anything. So if you wanna buy me that diamond ring, well, don't drop out of my life. Baby, don't drop out. My parents say you're lazy, but you can be smart if you try. And I know you've got a heart, 'cause you've never ever made me cry. They say you're no good, so baby, do what you should and stay here by my side, oh darling. Don't drop out of my life, baby, don't be a fool. You're old enough to know you're too young to face a world so cruel. You're not prepared to do anything. So if you wanna buy me that diamond ring, well, don't drop out of my life, baby, don't drop out. Don't drop out of my life, baby, don't drop out. Don't drop out of my life, baby, don't drop out.
To me the boardwalk's cold now, but you can find me there. I'm looking at the sand now, remembering we were there. What a long way to start the summertime, what a long way to start the summertime. I keep on looking for you, but you can't be found. I keep on searching for you, but you're nowhere around. Oh, I'll still go out dating, but what fun will I find? 'Cause what will really hurt me is that you're on my mind. What a lonely way to start the summertime, what a lonely way to start the summertime. I keep on looking for you, but you can't be found. I keep on searching for you, but you're nowhere around. All I can see on the beach is a piece of driftwood, and it somehow reminds me of the twisted memories left in my mind. What a lonely way to start the summertime, what a lonely way to start the summertime. I keep on looking for you, but you can't be found. I keep on searching for you, but you're nowhere. Baby, baby, where can you be? Hey, baby, where? Baby, baby, where? Baby, baby, where can you be? I say goodbye. I know that it's wrong and I should be so strong, but the thought of you gone makes me want to hold on. Got me going without you, baby. I can't let go. I can't let you know that I can't let go. I said I can't let go. No, I can't let go. I said I can't let go. No, no, because every time you hold me, don't you know?
All right, you are tuned to Real Industrial Radio. This is the Aural Apocalypse. We're taking a bit of a turn to the groovy with Boyd Rice and Giddle Partridge. Go, Giddle Partridge. They are joining me in
Hi.
the studio. Thank you guys for joining me.
You're welcome.
Hell yeah.
All right, we had a really cool set in there. We had from Evie Sands, I Can't Let Go.
That's something my friend Allison Anders sent me probably nearly 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I had it on tape for years, and I'm really glad that this box set came out where I can listen to it again. It's been years since I heard that.
And we heard from the Bittersweets, What a Lonely Way to Start the Summertime. I like the title of that track.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Bittersweets except that they sound sort of like the Shangri-Las.
Exactly.
So that's enough for me.
That's enough. And Dolly Parton, that was an
Dolly!
interesting selection. I've never heard that song before. Don't Drop Out.
Don't Drop Out. That was Dolly's first single. They were trying to market her as the Shangri-Las. And so they were trying to do a girl group thing with her. And she was such a wonderful songwriter that she got a lot of work early on writing songs for people. And then she did that song, and it's just amazing. Dolly's my hero.
Yeah, we were talking about Dollywood and her
Dollywood and
Giddle's
Hollywood.
obsession with
Giddle goes to
Dolly.
Dollywood.
But Dolly was enough like the Shangri-Las on her own. I always tried to convince Rose McDowell to do this song called The Bridge, and it's about Dolly Parton goes to this bridge, meets a guy every night. One night they get carried away and they go out and they have sex in the bushes. And then it's 9 months later, she's standing in the bridge and the guy's not there. And the last thing you hear is her saying, "This is where it started and this is where I'll end it." And
She's
she
walking
jumps off
closer
the
to
bridge.
the corner of the bridge. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. And then Rose didn't want to do it.
Try and figure.
It sounds just up her alleyway with.
Yeah, Rose nixed a song because there was a line about a cigarette in it. She says, "I'm not doing a song about a cigarette." And I said, "But this is the best pop song in British girl group history." And she says, "No, that's disgusting."
Couldn't you take a little artistic license and say maybe he's having a beer?
What's the point?
Yeah.
You might as well just say cigarette as part of the lyrics. I mean,
I
there's
agree.
worse things a girl could do.
Indeed, a lot worse. We also heard from Tony Basil with I'm 28. Interesting song.
28, it's getting late. What am I supposed to do? Isn't that amazing?
Isn't life supposed to be over at 28? Isn't that it? The end?
It's just wild. Like when you're 28, you're done.
Yeah.
Done. Finished.
I think 50 is the new 28.
Yeah, 50's the new 28.
Definitely.
And then you had obviously Tony Basil who did Mickey.
Yeah,
Oh, Mickey,
her
you're so fine.
claim to fame was Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
Years
You're
later,
so fine,
after
you
she was
blow my
28,
mind.
probably when she was 58, she probably did that.
Yeah, I wonder what she thinks about that song now, you know. So.
Yeah.
And, of course, at the top of the set, we heard a wonderful song off your latest EP, Going Steady with Peggy Moffat, and the name of that song, radio premiere, was called Contact.
Contact.
Yay, thanks for sharing that, guys. So, for more information about Boyd and Go-Go Giddle, you can go to boydrice.com or gogogiddlepartridge.com.
It's gogogiddle.com.
gogogiddle.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all one word, right?
Yep.
You also got a MySpace page, don't you?
Uh-huh. Go-Go Giddle is my MySpace page.
All right. And you have Rice and Partridge.
Rice
on
and
the-
Partridge.
Yeah. They can
And
just,
Boyd has a MySpace, but it's inactive now, so.
Oh, it is.
Don't go there. Don't
People
email.
still send me letters there. Or
Do they?
Messages, whatever. Yeah,
Is anybody
evidently.
running it, or?
Somebody's running it, but they don't
Yeah.
want to look at
Occasionally.
every single
Right.
message somebody
We get
sends me.
epic letters. You have no idea. The letters that come in blow my mind.
There are some weirdos out there.
They're just like, I mean,
Lovable
a lot of them
weirdos.
are so sweet and so enthusiastic and happy that I consider them blessings. But like, there's some people out there that just are creepy. You know, it's.
That's not
freaky.
true. They're all wonderful, loving human beings. They
Supportive.
just need understanding.
Yeah.
They just need understanding.
They have good taste. What they need now is understanding.
Yeah,
I see
they
the
do have
PC
good
coming out in
taste.
Boyd there saying. No, that I don't think you've ever heard that probably in one sentence. PC and Boyd Rice.
Now you have.
Now you have on this show here. I never thought I would say it, but I want to thank you again for you guys for joining us. What does the future hold for the two of you in a joint project? Something coming up, perhaps?
Yeah, well, we're finishing our full-length record, which is going to be titled Love, Love, Bang, Bang. You guys have to please be patient.
These things take time.
These things take time. Plus, I'm recording here in Hollywood. Boyd's in Denver, so we have to get together and go into Absinthe Studio, run by Bob Furbish, and get our music done. And then, but yes, there is a full-length record coming out, and so the EP is to tide you over. And whoever doesn't have your EP, you better hurry up and get it, because the 1,000 limited edition signed copies are almost all gone. So you got to get them
Hurry,
now.
mach schnell! Now, today.
Yes.
Do his bidding, and
But we've got a bunch more really groovy stuff recorded. We've just got a lot of stuff too that's unfinished.
We just have to fine tune it.
She will come into town, for a holiday to visit the families. She has one day in the studio. So if we can finish a single song. So the fact that this has taken like a number of years to actually happen.
Thank
you. It's not because we're like short on ideas.
No, we have too many ideas.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, it'll be worth waiting for, I'm sure, as this latest EP, Going Steady with Peggy Moffat, was worth waiting for. If that was a couple years in the making, I think I'll wait another couple years for the next
And it's
edition.
a delight working with Giddle. Is my favorite person on earth. She's one of the only women I put on a pedestal. Staying here has been amazing because, but I could not do this on a yearly basis. I come here for like 10 days or 2 weeks, and it's like 6 months of living crammed into a couple weeks' time.
Well, that's why her name's Go Giddle Partridge.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Because I haven't stopped going since I stepped off the plane.
Crazy rock star
lifestyle.
Get
stuff done.
Well, it was a real pleasure having you guys here in the studio.
Thank you for having us, DJ
Pleasure
Merrick.
meeting
This is
you.
wonderful.
Yes, and anybody who wants more information, again, you can go to boydrice.com. There's all links to all the other things that we had mentioned about, so that's probably the easiest one.
If you go to Boyd Rice and you go to news, you can find all the wonderful things that are happening.
Yeah, and we're going to leave you with one final song that you guys selected. Again, the Monkees.
And the Monkees, the porpoise song from the movie Head, the psychedelic movie Head.
Yeah,
this was what I started the set at the Wrecking Crew thing with, because the Wrecking Crew did this song as well.
Ah, okay. Well, let's give it a listen here on the Aural Apocalypse. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Boyd. Thank you, Giddle. We hope to have you on again.
Dig it.
All right. Aural Apocalypse. Real Industrial Radio.